Okay guys, I wanted to give you a quick shot of everything that I use. Disposable gloves, hair dye, whisk, brush, protein color filler, measuring cup, mixing bowl, developer, and some towels. For this video, I'm using volume 40 since I have about 2 months of overgrowth. So it's 2.5 ounces of developer per tube. So I have 5 ounces here of the volume 40, and I'm actually just going to mix it up with the brush. The bristles of the brush do help to break down the hair dye since it could be really thick, and the developer cream actually works best for it to blend in together, so that's why I like to use that. As a general rule, I use about 1/4 of the protein filler per tube, so here I used about half of that bottle. And I like to use baby oil or petroleum jelly on my skin so that it doesn't stain that much, and it does help with the gloves staying in place. So to start out, I like to focus on the roots in the front. I have a lot of baby hairs. So you're going to see me taking my time, just lightly brushing on some hair dye, not really going too thick, whereas later on you'll see me do that and I just kind of slap it on there. So that is mainly why I have that baby oil on my skin. And just follow all the way to the other side. This is a good example. Sometimes hair will touch your face. Don't panic. Just get some rubbing alcohol and like a makeup remover pad, and boom. Just take it off before it dyes your skin. And that generally happens more than once. So just make sure you have extra close by while you're going all the way around the edges. I know I'm missing a spot right there, but I do go back and get it. And there's hair dye on my ear. I took that off as well. So just rule of thumb, if anything's burning or on any other part of your head or scalp or face, just take it off before it starts dyeing your skin. And then I start by splitting my hair down the middle. I do have a lot of hair and it's really thick, so I skipped a lot of this video just to show you the general idea of what I do. Okay, so you do want to take small sections and really focus on the top of your head, especially if you're the type of person that likes to do a lot of styling. I do a lot of victory rolls and, you know, just like the pinup hairstyles, and so I try to make sure that I get a really good blend in. But you'll see, like, I get pretty sloppy as well once I get towards like the back of my head. So I really try to focus on the crown and basically the whole section like above my ears. And after that, like, I just slap it on there really. So you'll see that in a minute. And I like to pull over the new section and see the hair dye kind of seep through, and I'll just brush that in first, and usually, you know, then redip my brush to get more hair dye and, you know, brush that on over it. And this is what I mean by it not looking perfect. I'm just making sure that I'm going down to right above my ear and then going back to the middle, just so that I can start working on the other side. And you'll see here, like, there's a lot of hair dye that is seeping through those sections, and that's okay. For this side, I just brush it through and, you know, try again to work fast, because you do want to have everything developing right about at the same time, and that way you can also make sure that you're blending it in as much as possible with, you know, the old hair growth. So just double check your roots and make sure that everything that was dark does have hair dye on it before you section it off. And you know, just make sure those baby hairs are covered as well. And that's what I do. I just go back, add a little bit more, and section it off with a clip. So I will start right above my ears and just go towards the back where I felt it was still, I guess, wet, you know, with the sections that I did going to the middle. And once I clip that up, I'll just double check and kind of feel that there is some hair dye on it, and then, you know, I'll just take that first layer, you know, brush it down, and then add a little bit more and bring that up. So you can split this all the way down the middle, going towards the back of your head, and do it that way. I used to do that when I would do like 2 little pigtails or something like that, but I really don't do styles like that anymore. So I really don't care if the blend going down the back of my head is all the same. So again, that's what I mean. It doesn't have to be pretty. If you're not worried about that, I would just go layer by layer until you go all the way down to the bottom. And we're done. So I'm just gonna fill for any dry spots and double check to make sure that everything does have hair dye and kind of rub it in, but I leave this on for about 30 minutes.